Hi, Brian. It's great to see you today. How are you?
Hi, Stephanie. I'm doing good. Thanks so much. How about yourself?
Good, good. Thanks for coming in today. It's great to meet you. Um, I would like to go over just a couple of things first.
Sure.
You filled out some forms when you came in, and one of those was a confidentiality statement. And what that does is it just talks about, everything we talk about here is confidential. It's between you and me. However, if you do make any kind of statement or any kind of threat against yourself or anyone in your family or anybody like that, I am required to report it. Um, my role as a counselor is here to help talk through issues and concerns that you may have, talk about the counseling process and work through those things. Um, you know, I'm here to help any way that I can. The other thing too is, yeah, if it's okay with you, I'd like to take some notes. It helps me just kind of keep my thoughts on track. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Great, great. Well, Brian, first, why don't you just tell me a little bit about yourself? I'd like to get to know you a little better.
Well, sure. Yeah, myself, just personal things. I guess my life. I've been married for about 8 years. Wonderful wife. Her name is Stephanie. I have we have 3 children together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my oldest is a 6-year-old. 6-year-old boy. His name is Nolan. We have a 4-year-old girl named Leah,
Mm-hmm.
and then our youngest is a 1-year-old boy, and his name is Huck.
Oh, that's cute. Great. Well, Brian, what do you do for a living?
I'm in accounting and finance area, and I've been
Mm-hmm.
working for a small mortgage company
Mm-hmm.
for about 6 months now. Is my
Okay.
latest.
Great. Great. And how do you like it?
Oh, it's going great. I'm
Yeah.
really enjoying it. Yeah, I was gonna say
Good.
I've been doing the finance and accounting for about 8 years now. Specifically in mortgage, I've been doing about 2.5 to 3 years.
Okay. Great. And your wife, is she working full time right now too?
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
She works for a nonprofit company.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, Brian, what is it you'd like to talk about today? What
Well,
brings you in?
what I wanted to, I guess, come in and talk to you initially on is, I'm new to the whole counseling thing, and I'm just really curious to learn about, what all counseling can do, and what all areas counseling is, best for, and
Okay.
just kind of learn the whole, process of like, beginning to end, and just what it's like to have the continuous, counseling, and what that
Okay.
does.
Great. Well, I'm so glad that you came in. And I really look forward to talking to you and working with you and helping any way that I can.
Great.
So first, to answer your question, counseling can be anything you want it to be. What we typically do is we just talk about things that are going on in your life that you want some guidance on, you want some clarity, things that are bothering you or setbacks or that kind of stuff. And we just talk through them and work through them, try to come up with a solution so that you can um, move forward and be successful.
Okay.
You're the client, you're in charge. I'm just here to help kind of navigate and help you, figure things out. To start off today, is there anything that you want to tackle first, or anything an issue that you'd like to talk about?
I don't think I have any, specific issues I was wanting to
Okay.
bring to the table, but would definitely like to, talk about and learn more just basic, stress, I guess, stress levels in everyday life.
Okay.
And I guess my big thing right now is, everyone has stress with life, both, personally with family life, and then, with the work life too. just would like to get some more information and learn how counseling can effectively work with balancing stress in the work and work life versus family life, and kind of juggling those two together and going back and forth.
I understand. Well, that's great. That's great. I'm happy to talk about that. Well, let's talk about you. You mentioned here, you've got some stress at home, you've got some stress at work.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you've got a full-time job, your wife is working full-time, you have 3 kids.
Yeah.
That could be really stressful. It's a lot going on for you, isn't it?
Big family, both of us working, so
Yeah.
a lot of time issues there, and
Yeah.
going back and forth between both of our work life and home life. Yeah.
Just managing all of that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, tell me, let's first talk about the home, what you're doing now. What are you doing now to help address and manage your stress at home?
At home,
Yeah.
just home stress life is just pretty much the basics of just married life and parenting. With our 3 kids, being a team, with my wife, and just tackling everyday occurrences with kids and school, and just raising them and parenting them,
Mm-hmm.
and tackling just issues with married life and the home itself. I guess finances with our expenditures and bills and things like that. Working with just everything all together.
That could be a lot of stress, I'm sure, and it maybe seems like it compounds. One stressful situation causes another stressful situation.
Yeah, sometimes
Kind
it
of bleed
seems that
over.
they can kind of bleed into one. Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you currently managing that stress? Just focusing on one thing?
Yeah, working with my wife, being a team, just
Yeah.
making sure that we work together to tackle things like the home stress and the kid stress. That's a team effort.
Okay.
Working together on the finances and just everyday family life there.
Yeah.
So just making sure that we're always, I guess, aware of issues that come up, and knowing is half the battle, I guess, and
Mm-hmm.
knowing how to team up together to tackle whatever issue there is with the kids and things like that.
Yeah. So what about that is not currently working?
I think it's working pretty well. I can't think of too many of any areas where it's not really working. The home
Okay.
life is, I guess, the part of the stress that's pretty manageable right now. I guess what's the difficult thing is trying to manage how our stress from our work life, bleeds into our home life, basically.
Okay. And what would you like to see improve? If I'm going to throw out a question for you.
Okay.
So let's say that you went to bed tonight and you woke up in the morning and everything was perfect. And you guys, you had a game plan, you had an idea of how to manage stress.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like exactly? Walk me through that.
Well, that would
In an ideal world.
in the ideal,
Yeah.
perfect world. That would be great. I would think, what that would look like would be, if every day we came home from our jobs and we got together at the dinner table or in the evening, and would just simply tell each other, what went on in our day, what kind of problems or issues did we have at work, what kind of thing, how that made us feel, what we did to handle it, what we did to resolve it, or who we went to for, I guess, help and support, and just I guess getting everything out there in the open and just making sure we knew what was going on both sides of each of our works and our and the home and everything all together, and just making sure that I guess we had good communication and good um, acknowledgement of like just what all was going on and how we were dealing with it.
You mentioned something I want to talk about for a second.
Sure.
Communication. How are you guys communicating now?
Communicating now, yeah, I guess what we're doing now is kind of the scenario what I described, coming home at the end of the day, just telling each other how our day was at work, what happened, if there was any problems, how we handled them. Yeah, communication I think is going well in that aspect. Just making sure that me and my wife, being there for each other and just sympathizing, saying, "Oh yeah, I hate when that happens at work,"
Yeah, so being a team, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Great. So I want to throw something out here, and you tell me if I'm on the right track.
Okay.
So it sounds like something you think would help improve managing stress at home is just coming up with a game plan on how you guys are going to tackle stress. So communicating, like, what's going on in your day and what your wife can do to help you, asking for that help, and even the same for her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just being, I guess really good, steps to a good game plan is just making sure that we each know our roles in the support for each other, being there for each other, being someone that we can, vent our comments on and our opinions on, with and just seeing what the other person thinks. That'd be a really good start there. And then knowing how we can help each other with support in that aspect.
That's great, Brian. So I have an idea. I would like for you guys, for you and your wife to work together on implementing some of this.
Okay.
And I'd like for you to try it for a week. So next time we meet, I'd like for you to tell me how that went. Did you see an improvement in your stress level? Or not?
Okay.
And we'll just try it out and see. Is that something you think is feasible?
Yeah, I'd like to put those steps in and just see how effective it is if it's a definite improvement or not. Yeah.
Great. Well, Brian, that's awesome. That's great. I want to talk about for a second, if it's okay, stress at work. Because that stress is probably a lot different than stress at home, right?
Yeah, the work stress is definitely, I guess, a whole different issue of all different kinds of problems, or work stress versus home stress.
Yeah. So tell me about work stress. What's stressful?
Work stress, I guess the majority of work stress is with the company I work at is kind of a smaller company. Being in an accounting and finance role, I guess there's a lot of transparency and a lot of involvement with upper management in the company. I guess visibility with my role is very clear that our work gets reported up to upper management, and if we are being in an accounting group, if our data we're reporting is not accurate and timely and efficient, if there's mistakes, they're definitely easily seen by the company when it reports to things like monthly and quarterly earnings and things like that. So a lot of visibility at work and a lot of expectation for, I guess, to be perfect at work.
Great. I understand. Sounds like, tell me if I'm wrong. Do you feel like there's a lot of expectation on you for perfectionism
Yeah.
and to do the job the right way?
There's a high level of expectation at
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
Yeah. I can understand that. How is that communicated at work? Is it verbal? Do they say you have to do your job perfect? Or is it, is it more passive, like, is it just expected that you're going to have perfect work?
It's more of a expectation. It is
Yeah.
something that's kind of trickled down from management every once in a while, but overall, it's a general understanding that our work has to be accurate and effective and efficient. Definitely to feed up into the reporting that. It's just known that accounting and finance they need to be correct the first time, and any errors are definitely stick out like a sore thumb.
Can you tell me about those errors? What happens when there's an error?
Well, an error has to be recognized, and it has to be you have to go back and research and correct it so it's right before it goes out to before it becomes public information.
Yeah.
So definitely any internal workings have to be ironed out and corrected before it goes to public information, which investors and shareholders see because they want to know what's correct the first time. Yeah.
I see. So tell me what motivates you. Is perfectionism one of those things that really is a driver for you? Is that what you shoot for?
Yeah, I'm definitely a person that likes to strive for perfectionism and definitely do things right the first time, accurately and efficiently. Big factors in just my personal goals as well as my work goals.
Is it feasible to expect perfection?
Yeah, there's a degree of that of what's expected.
Really?
But
How so? How
just
do you get to be perfect at your job?
well, just in the line of work, doing it, over and over again. We do the same thing on a monthly basis, so
Mm-hmm.
making sure that it's done the same way every single month, definitely a big factor of knowing that it's going to be right every time you do it.
Yeah. I'm going to throw something out there for you to think about, and I want you to process it, okay?
Okay.
And apply it, and then let me know what you think. So for me, in my personal life, one of the ways that I'm able to work through a stressful situation is knowing that I've had similar stressful situations before, and that I have been able to get through them. I've had tough things at work or at home, and just knowing that I can look back and say, I got through that, so I can get through this.
Yeah.
Is that something that you see as applicable in your line of work?
Yeah, I can definitely relate that
Yeah.
to job stress. Yeah, that's something. Yeah, of course, in my line of work, when one type of issue comes up, it happens. It's kind of repetitive. So
Yeah.
if you've known that you've seen it before and you knew how to handle it before, yeah, that definitely helps on giving you the confidence to know that, oh, I've seen this before, and I did this last time. Let me try this again to try and resolve it and see if it works the same way. Definitely.
Definitely. Good. Well, some of the things too that I've picked up on you saying in our conversation today was that, you've got some good internal motivators, things that you're able to kind of tell yourself to get through stressful things. Like, you said you've mentioned staying positive and that
Yeah.
you take each problem at a time and that you're able to work through them. So are those messages that you play on repeat in your head, or are they, do you find yourself listening more to those negative things, the things that say you can't do the job and that kind of stuff? Which one is the louder voice?
Yeah, well, definitely hear both. There's always,
Yeah.
there's negatives when you get to a
Mhm.
point where you just can't figure something out, can't resolve it.
Yeah.
You've tried everything you know to do, and you think, you just tell yourself, I'm not going to figure this out. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. You definitely get that side. But what I always try and do is, listen to the positive aspects and knowing that, I've done this before. I know I can do it. I've resolved issues similar to it in the past. And so just taking, like you said, one step at a time, take one day at a time, and just try and tackle each thing separately. Yeah, try not to get overwhelmed with thinking, oh my gosh, I've got 10 different problems. I've got to tackle them all at once. Just taking one at a time and knowing that you can take the steps and
Yeah.
you can stay positive and know that in the end you'll get there and you'll get the result.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, do you think it would be feasible for you to say, if you find yourself having those negative thoughts, those things are like spiraling out of control, to stop yourself and say, no, I can do this. I can take this. I am positive. I have done this before. I can get through this.
Yeah.
Do you think that you could flip that switch?
Yeah, definitely can.
Maybe try that?
Got, when you get to a point to where you get overwhelmed and
Mm-hmm.
it seems like everything's falling down, if I knew to just stop and say, hold on, pause everything, I know I can do this, let's start with step one, it's definitely a good positive motivator that
Give power to the positive. I like
That's right.
that. Well, good. Well, Brian, I think, maybe that's something you try this week too. And maybe you've got two things to work on.
Okay.
Giving power to the positive, flipping that switch and listening to those powerful positive messages, at work whenever you're under a lot of stress. And then also working with your wife to communicate, like how you guys can work through those stressful situations and what you need.
Yeah. I think those are both definitely doable, yeah.
So how am I going to know that you have worked on those?
Well, what do you need me to bring back to show that in our next session?
Well, I just want I want you to bring back just your feedback on how those applications went for you. So let's talk about it next time we meet. Would you like to come back in a week from now or 2 weeks? What works better?
I think weekly is fine for me, yeah.
Okay. Well, looking at my calendar, it looks like I have a time on Wednesday and on Thursday at 1 p.m. or Friday at 4 p.m. Which is better?
We can do Thursday, would be great.
Thursday at 1?
Uh-huh.
All right, Brian. And what two things are you going to work on for me for our next session?
I'm going to come back with some information on what I tried with the communication with my
Mhm.
wife and what, steps we're taking to improve on that and get that under control. And then definitely the second aspect is, just trying to keep track of the positive things that I'm doing at work to let myself know that I can do the steps that are making it possible to get towards the stress at work.
Great. All right, Brian. Well, I really enjoyed our meeting today, and I look forward to talking to you next week on Thursday at 1 o'clock.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Sure. Have a great day.
You too.